The last few weeks in crypto have been quite a struggle for many leverage traders out there and many just investors in general. We've seen this thing pumping all the way to the heavens and then kicking the grandma down the stairs right afterwards. We're seeing liquidations to the upside, liquidations to the downside, Bitcoin's price going up and down and backwards, sideways, and flip-flop reversing. It's been all over the place, right? And it's really led a lot of investors, especially new investors, to just not really know what's going on. Well, as this has been going on, I've been keeping my eyes peeled, watching very closely how these charts are developing and how things are starting to structure themselves, because I do believe it's important to at least monitor moments like these, even though I'm not trading in moments like these. As you all know, about a week ago, when we did see Bitcoin's price push towards the top side of this ascending channel, I told you I was going to stop doing all short and mid-term leverage trades right now because it just didn't make sense that people were going long on leverage while Bitcoin's price was at the top side of resistance. And of course, since then, we did see Bitcoin's price come back down, and I've not done any leverage trading since. Well, at some point pretty soon here again, or just trading in general, but just, again, not right now. But again, even though I'm not trading right now, it's important to monitor these charts and get an idea, because this is how you can start to get ahead of the market and recognize things ahead of time. Well, as I've been doing this, I started to notice something a little bit yesterday, but mostly today, that I was like, ooh, I don't really like that, and I wanted to warn you about it. It's not particularly anything like the market's going to dump or the market's going to pump, but it's more along the lines of what's going to happen or what is happening right now, and I want to help you avoid some pitfalls, okay? So what we're going to be focusing on today is the fact that we have now entered into an HMZ. If you know, one thing that an HMZ is, or what we call it here on the channel, is a high manipulation zone. These are zones in which I believe the lizard people, the scary, weird lizard skin people who control these markets, I believe that they have these little periods where there's a elevated amount of manipulation, forcing liquidations on either side. You all know my general thesis is that, well, I believe there are people who are somewhat manipulating or in control of these markets, and by forcing you out of your trades, either by making you panic sell or by liquidating you, is the way that they can try to accumulate as much crypto as possible as early as they can. That's my general theory. I know it's a tinfoil hat theory. I don't care. That's what I think. Been here for 5 years, and I'm pretty set on it now at this point. And so, of course, with that in mind, I believe that we have now entered into one of those zones where there is a higher elevated amount of manipulation that is going to cause a lot of people to lose money for absolutely zero reason. And I want to help you avoid that. Now, your first question may be, well, what is the HMZ, right? What is the high manipulation zone? Well, that would be right here, okay? So what I've come to recognize is that some of the most dangerous periods in all of crypto is after a pump, when people are getting pissed and they're getting a little bit frustrated or agitated. They don't know when the market's going to move, right? And then we start to see the market go sideways. When you see that sideways movement, that's when everything starts to get shady. That's when everything starts to get sketchy and stuff starts happening that makes absolutely and utterly no sense. Now, if we take it back to the charts here, you can start to see what I mean. So do you see how, of course, we saw the market pump? It starts to cool down a little bit. And this is even on the micro or the macro, but let's go into the micro for today. The market dumps from there, and then it starts to cool down. People start to get mad. All the hate comments start to come out. People start calling everything FUD, and then you start going sideways. And in periods like this, and it's still early and may not last very long, but I at least just want to warn you, but in periods like this specifically, this is where danger lurks. This is literally jumping into the shark-infested waters in Jaws 2, and you're just hoping for the best. This red rectangle right here is where danger lurks. Tyler, why? The reason that I say that is because this crypto market is in a spot right now where no one truly knows what's going to happen. I think we can all agree, right? No one truly knows. No one knows if it's going to hold this support and continue back upwards and build a foundation on top of this level, or if it's going to capitulate to the downside. I've said rather consistently there is a higher chance that we go down. There's a higher chance we break to the downside because naturally there is. We had a breakout of an ascending channel. We came back, we back tested it, we flipped that previous point of support into a resistance level, and now we've gotten rejected off that resistance level for what very easily might be an ABC correction to the downside. While we're possibly forming this ABC correction to the downside, there is some sort of wonky, ugly head and shoulders pattern that also could be forming, which doesn't guarantee we go very low, but could imply that some sort of fake out or breakout to the downside's on the way. So yes, there is an increased likelihood that we do break out to the downside and we do head below $92,000, but no one actually knows. It is almost a coin flip at this point, because what you have to remember is that every single bearish movement that there is, every single price prediction to the downside that there is counterweighted by the fact that we're in a bull market, and a bull market only needs one piece of good news to just absolutely gig ascend it to the upside because the macro trend is upwards. And so because of that, in this period, going back to what I was saying before, no one really knows what's going to happen right here. And as a result of no one knowing what's going to happen, that's when you start to see uncertainty creep in. That's when you start to see people starting to get tribal. Oh, it's going up, it's going down. You have one crew of people who swear by their their family's name that it's going up, and another crew who would be willing to sacrifice their own child to make you understand that the market's going down. And when you have these two groups of people, this is where it gets ugly. This is where ugly things start to form. And so because of that, today we're going to take a look at how we can go about avoiding this, what this can mean, and much more. But I really want to just preface this video with you understanding that the main thing you got to understand is that in a period like this is called an HMZ. This is a high manipulation zone. And a lot of things are going to happen here that I am going to show you that, well, man, some people are going to get liquidated, but it's easy to avoid, and I'll tell you how to do that as well. Now, guys, don't forget, if you do want to start trading some crypto yourself today, I'm not leverage trading right now. I am not doing any trading at all, but if I am going to be at some point, so if you do want to start getting started, if you're trading or if you're going to be trading at some point eventually, feel free to check out that BTCC link down below. You can trade on all the way up to 500x leverage, even though that's a bad idea. And you can, of course, use my landing page right here to sign up. You will get a 10% bonus on all first-time deposits over $500 and below $100,000. This means if you deposit $3,000, for example, they're going to give you $300 back on the spot to start trading with, and whatever profit you make from that bonus is completely yours, no strings attached. So feel free to go check that out down below if that does interest you. They've been around for 13 years now, always making developments, getting better every single day, so I do think you'll like it. So again, go check that out down below. Now, overall, okay, let's get into the weeds here a little bit. So we understand now why we're in a high manipulation zone and what this can mean. Let's talk about metrics. Let's kind of talk about what this means going forward. What this means going forward is that since we're in a high manipulation zone, this is an absolute stop moment. This is an absolute stop moment. Absolutely no trading. That's what I'm doing, at least. And look, you can do what you want. I'm not somebody to tell you what to do. But what I know is that if I was anyone on this earth I was giving my personal opinion to, I would tell them this is not a trading moment. The reason being is because moments like these will produce some of the weirdest shit you ever seen. And they already kind of already is. Like if we go to the Bitcoin liquidation history, for example, look at what's been going on just over the last 5 days. Look at the amount of liquidations that are happening on both sides. It's being more weighted towards the upside, meaning that longs are getting liquidated more, but even shorts are getting liquidated. Like right now, for example, since this day, we saw in this 800 million longs get liquidated, 166 million shorts get liquidated. We saw 650 to 222. We saw 224 to 114, 180 to 75, and it just goes on and on. Billions of dollars being liquidated, but guys, it's happening on both sides. It's not even a defined moment in which just a lot of bulls or a lot of bears are getting liquidated. Just everyone is getting liquidated. Anyone who has been trading in this zone for the most part on any sort of high leverage has been getting liquidated, and you can see it starting to pick up there. Look at what's going on. It's just absolutely ridiculous, and quite frankly, it's not going to get any better. Well, you may say, Tyler, why is it not going to get any better? Well, go look at the liquidation map. Look what's happening here. The ratio of short traders to long traders that are leverage trading right now is back to dead even on the 1 day. Meaning there are a ton of liquidations that will happen if Bitcoin goes to 93 to 94,000. And there are a ton of liquidations that will happen if Bitcoin goes from 97 to 98,000. And while we're in a period like this in which people still stay greedy and they think they know what's going on, and we have all this tribalism, and these people think that these people are wrong, and these people think that these people are wrong, people are going to continue to get liquidated. And I believe this is one of the favorite periods for the lizards. I believe that the lizard people look at this and they're like, oh, juicy gains, too easy, too tendies, right? Because they can push it down and force it up and push it down and force it up and just keep liquidating everyone to the top side and the bottom side. And then what gets really annoying is the fact that there will also be moments at some point, I'm sure, where we might even get a fake out. That is another card that's on the table, in which the market breaks out to the downside. Everybody starts shorting this thing because we just broke the macro range. The head and shoulders pattern is confirmed. Oh, this is the moment where we're going to 80K, and then what do you know? It bounces off support, heads right back in here and goes out this way, maybe gets rejected back in, and boom, we're right back in here. This is a high manipulation zone. I've seen them time and time and time again over the last 5 years, and it might not last very long. It might not last even for the rest of today, but while we are in it, this is an absolute stop zone. The only caveat to that is if you want to do some dollar cost averages into spot bags. I do think that's okay. Matter of fact, if we actually go to the school over here, hold on one second. Let's go here. You can see I actually did some purchases yesterday. Yesterday, I was buying some stuff. Bitcoin at 95K, ETH at 3,300, Solana at 188, XLM here, XRP, Pepe, Cash, Render. I did a bunch of buys. Now, again, none of these were big purchases. I said here, due to the fact that there are still liquidations in the market at the lower downside. So I am aware this market might fall a little bit lower, but I was I was willing to step in and buy a little bit of crypto here, and you can see it actually held up well. All those purchases are in the green. They weren't big, so I'm not touching them. I'm not taking profits off those tiny purchases, but I am doing some dollar cost averaging in here, and that's the only exception to this. That is the only thing that I think is okay. Doing some spot buys on these cryptos if we have a red day is totally fine. Any altcoins, anything, because quite frankly, sure, it might hold some support, but I just like buying in red days in general. That's the only caveat to this. Oh, and I will let you know, at the very end of the video, I'm going to tell you a lot more about the school, don't worry, if you're curious about what in the world I just showed you. So with that in mind, like I said before, this is an absolute stop moment. I'm not going long. I'm not going short. I'm not selling, expecting to rebuy, because those people are going to get wrecked. The people who keep doing this whole, I'm going to sell it right now to go rebuy it at 70K, they're going to end up losing at some point. Because what if, sorry to go on a quick tangent here, but what if you sell all of your Bitcoin right now and it does start falling and it goes to 75K and then it bounces all the way back up to 110K? You're going to be very mad. You know why? Because you would think, well, when it starts bouncing, I'll buy in. No, you won't. You're going to say, oh no, this is a dead cat bounce. It's surely going to go back down. It's surely going to do this. And no, it won't. It'll just keep going up and up and up and up and up. It's going to never hit your buy orders, and you're going to end up buying back in at a higher price than you sold it right here. So the people selling everything to rebuy at lower prices, they're going to end up losing at some point. The people who are going 100x long on leverage, thinking that this is the moment where crypto and Bitcoin's going to specifically just immediately start going back up, they're going to end up losing at some point. People who are shorting and selling against the bull market, they're shorting the bull market right now, they might win for a little bit, but they'll end up losing at some point because they'll get greedy. They're already getting greedy. Go look at liquidation levels. Look at the 30-day. Look at the amount of people who can get liquidated if this market goes back up. These are all short traders. These are all short traders. They're going to end up losing at some point. I'm telling you, everybody who tries to go super big and moves right now is going to end up losing at some point. It's almost destiny, and that's my point. That's why I believe these are high manipulation zones. It happens every single time. And so to me, my primary warning of the day isn't, I'm not trying to say right now where I think the market's going to go out of this range, because guys, I just don't know. I don't know what's going to happen here. That's why it's called a high manipulation zone. There's just no way of knowing. But what I do know is that people who try to do anything too big in here, whether it's longing, whether it's shorting, whether it's selling to rebuy, whether it's taking a loan out and then, doing the opposite of shorting, whatever, man, it's going to get ugly. And so if I'm going to give you my honest opinion right now, I wouldn't be doing anything whatsoever unless it's simple spot buying. Simple spot buying. On red days, buy some spot bags, and that's fine. That's always fine. You got to remember, I believe we're still in a bull market, so I'll never tell you during a bull market not to buy a little bit on red days. Of course you should, in my opinion, because it's a bull market. Doing some spot buying on a red day is a good opportunity to get some good entries, and then when we see this market continue upwards, you'll make some gains. It's easy. That's easy. That's free real estate. I'm not worried about that. Outside of that, though, really wouldn't be doing too much. So I know this was a bit of a rambly video for you here, but I just wanted to show you, you got to be on the lookout for things like these. It's not as simple as just support and resistance. No, there are so many other factors that are impacting this market on a daily basis, and you have to be able to recognize when those things are impacting this market, what they could mean, and how they may affect it. You have to be able to mix in your technical analysis with your fundamental analysis and getting a good understanding of what's happening with the liquidation map. Being able to go down to something like Visual Screener and look and say, oh snap, look at the widespread variety. Look what's going on here. People don't know what's happening. So many people are closing shorts and opening longs and closing longs and opening shorts, and nobody knows what's going to happen, which is going to open them up to just get liquidated no matter where this market goes. You got to be able to recognize those things, and that's why I make these videos here for you. Now, if you do want to continue to get better at all this stuff, one thing that I will tell you, if this all feels a little bit confusing, if you're somebody who simply just wants to get better at this whole crypto thing and start learning about the fundamentals and learning about the technicals, or maybe you're advanced and you want to just elevate your game even more with more advanced strategies and stuff, you can check out the link to our Patreon down below. Once you do click that link, it's going to take you over to our school, guys, and our school has a very, very, very simple mission. We take crypto investors like yourself. We give you courses, coaching, classes, live streams, workshops, trade signals from a professional team of traders, research reports, and exclusive Q&As with myself and other coaches. Once you take all of that, it'll help you create your own investment strategy. And these strategies that we're kind of putting out and kind of helping you create are backed by over 40 years of experience across 7 or 8 different team members. And then once you have that strategy in place, you can then use your own strategy to start working and start making some money in this market. That's the whole goal. Give value, help members create strategies, use those strategies to make money. And I'm not just talking out my butt here, guys. If we go to the community gainers tab, you can see what's going on here. This is just today. Just today, 92% gain, 100% gain, 33% gain, 64% gain, 40% gain, and it goes on. And this is just the last few hours. These are just the last few hours. And so if you are somebody, and honestly, look, I can just do this and just go, and the gains just don't stop. This is yesterday. We're still in yesterday. This is the day before yesterday. It's gains after gains after gains, quite simply because people are learning. They're taking those learnings and making them into strategies and using those strategies strategies to make gains. And the best part, if we're not able to help you, if you don't learn anything, if you don't find it valuable, we'll just give you your money back. And the best part about that is it starts at $5 a month. You can check that link out down below. As I did mention before, there's an option for $5 a month. There's an option for $17 a month. Guys, this is the cost of a Netflix subscription or cheaper. So if you do want to check that out, again, the link is available down below, but that's only for those of you who actually want to get better. Don't waste your own time. Only if you want to get better. Go check that out down below and keep an eye on this HMZ, this high manipulation zone, because things are getting weird, things are getting ugly. A lot of people are going to lose, and it's really unnecessary. So stay frosty. I'll be here every day dropping a couple videos for you, letting you know what I'm seeing and what I'm doing. So if you have been enjoying, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I can't wait to see you all next time. Peace out, everybody.